Who Reviews the Reviewers is a reality-style competition where we pit 8 novice video reviewers against each other in a series of interesting and difficult review challenges. The goal is to help these reviewers hone their skills, to give their channel some exposure amongst the murky and turbulent environment of YouTube, and to award the winner a cash prize to aid them in their future reviewing endeavors as they build their audience. This year's winner will receive $400, plus they'll appear with Captain Logan and Vince on Geeks Not Nerds the podcast, and participate in a review panel with the contest judges. The audition deadline passed last Friday and we had 27 entrants. Before I reveal the contestants, I'd like to talk a little about what's going to be different this season. Once again, the lineup of judges has changed. The review spawn has decided to bow out this season, but is graciously helping to sponsor the contest, and Dan, Tory GNR1, will be taking his place this year. We hope to broadcast our deliberations live this time over YouTube, so if you're available the night of the discussion, you'll be able to hear our critiques and the results of that week's challenge just as they're happening. We're also emphasizing audience participation this season. If you aren't competing and you plan to follow the contest, we want you to be involved. This year, we're taking open submissions for challenge concepts. We haven't planned out every challenge for the season yet, and if you have an idea, send us a PM at Geekvolution and we'll consider it. By sending us your idea, please note that you're automatically giving us consent to use it, with the understanding that if we implement your challenge, you'll be credited for the idea during the contest. Make sure your idea is well explained and detailed, and tell us what aspect of reviewing the challenge is meant to emphasize. Also, understand that your challenge may be altered slightly or significantly if chosen, and we will not include any challenges that require our contestants to spend money out of their own pockets, so the challenge must be broad-spanning enough to allow people to use something they either already have or have access to. Trust me, writing a challenge is a challenge in and of itself. We'll also be letting viewers influence the game with the voter top banana. After each deliberation, once you've seen the vote off, you'll have the opportunity to vote in the comments for the contestant you think did the best job that week. Whoever receives the most votes will be immune from being voted off in the next challenge, and that will start after the first round. And now, revealing the 8 contestants for Who Reviews the Reviewers Season 3, chosen by our judges. Maxwell's Magic Reviews.
PA means pipe appeal, or Prince Albert, the national joy to smoke. So is it? Round 1, the smell test. It smells of raisin and maybe a slight hint of fig in there. It's a very pleasant smelling pipe tobacco. Round 2, the taste test. It tastes of smoke and nothing else.
Infamous Nick 07.
Plunder the 8 Pages is a first-person survival horror game. In the game, the player is in a forest armed only with a flashlight. The setting of the forest gives you a real sense of isolation, and having no weapon in the game other than a flashlight makes you feel kind of powerless, adding to the creepy factor of the game. The goal of the game is to find 8 pieces of paper. Once you find a piece of paper, music begins to play. The music adds a lot of creepy factor to the game. It's a nice, subtle music, almost like a thumping heart or something. It gives you this looming presence, as if something is following you and just waiting for its chance to pounce on you. As you play, you keep seeing a faceless man in a suit called Slender Man pop up. The more pages you collect, the more he pops up. If you get close to him, the game becomes very staticky, and if he catches you, or you look at him for too long, you're dead.
Rob's Rogues 97.5.
Saw it in the stores, and I thought, okay, he's kind of in the bubble shell of the package. So I thought, okay, maybe he's going to be like the DC Universe Heroes in the palm of your hand here, my little Robin. So I thought, okay, he'll be able to work with the Robin, as you couldn't really see his legs in the package. He does have some, limited articulation. I didn't expect a whole lot. Actually, I was expecting a lot more. But once I got him out of the package, I realized that his feet are affixed to a little bit of a base. So that was kind of an instant bummer. I thought that, at least if his arms are moving, his feet were going to move.
Rockman LP.
Tolkien is widely known for writing The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion. However, what these books are is a history of the development of Tolkien's fiction as a whole. Tolkien's son Christopher has painstakingly gone through his father's stacks of unpublished and unfinished work, collecting, editing, assembling all this material in what is essentially chronological order. We've got short stories in both prose and poetic forms, maps, diagrams, and more. You can really follow along Tolkien's journey from his beginnings writing short fairy stories and poems, and see how they slowly evolve over time to form the epic world of Middle-earth.
Samuel24842.
When I heard that the web shooters were going to be in The Amazing Spider-Man, I was really excited. I remember reading in the comics the process Peter Parker goes through in making them, all the ideas he gets out of them, the mechanical stuff, and more. So I was really looking forward to the part in Amazing Spider-Man where he develops his web shooters. But it went by in about 5 seconds. There was about 3 shots of him making them, then that's it. Done. The web shooters are complete. What a letdown. I was expecting to feel the same way I felt during Iron Man. We got to see the development of Tony Stark's Iron Man suit from the Mark I to the Mark II and eventually Mark III.
Steve-O Cubed.
Griff is an introverted, possibly deranged nerd who works as an office drone during the day and fights crime as a superhero at night. We soon realize, though, that according to society standards, Griff is just a nutjob in black spandex and a hockey mask who bothers his neighbors in a semi-stalkery, creepy fashion and probably belongs in a Lady Gaga concert or as the goalie on the Swedish team in a Mighty Ducks movie. He's a freak and everyone knows it. Except him.
Superhero Enthusiast.
If it seems like the parallels to Watchmen are strong here, it's because they are. The writers are keenly aware of this, though, and with deft hands both play up and subvert the different elements of Ozymandias and Peter Cannon in ways that thankfully don't diminish Cannon at all, but in fact elevate him. It's actually even possible to read this book as an after-Watchmen of sorts. If, like me, you've ever asked, what if Ozymandias' plan hadn't worked, then this book is for you. But don't worry, this book fully embraces its roots, from Peter Cannon's origin to his garish costume to the fact there's both a cursed mummy and a freaking dragon in this book. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt is deliciously pulpy.
And Aaron Dicer.
What they do is they have this time the mom and dad be taken, which is in the previews, so I'm not giving anything away. And so much of this movie is Liam Neeson telling his daughter how to find them and get them, and there's very little time at the end for him to actually be on the job in full pursuit. And even when he is, there's not much for him to do. He's almost kind of a taxi driver in many of those scenes. I really think they missed the boat on this one. It's as if so much of this movie is Liam Neeson on the phone. It's like they thought what made the first Taken good was that moment where he said, you're about to be taken, so this is what you need to do, and he gave specific instructions to his daughter, which, don't get me wrong, is a really incredible part of that movie, but it's not what made that movie great.
Congratulations to the 8 of you. You'll be competing for a $400 prize in our biggest season yet on Who Reviews the Reviewers. So let's waste no time. Your first challenge begins right now. So far, the first round has always been a review of a physical object, and this year is no different. Your first challenge will be to review a product's packaging. Not the product itself, but the container, box, bag, binding, whatever it comes in. It can be the packaging of any sort of product, and it need not necessarily be geeky. It can be the packaging for a food, a movie, a toy, a gadget, absolutely anything. If it's something that has to be completely removed before the product can be used, or something that's usually thrown away, it doesn't matter if you've already started using the product or if we see you unbox it for the first time on screen, just so long as you provide some sort of visual so we can see what you're talking about. As always, this could be something just lying around your house. You do not have to purchase something new. The focus on this challenge is criticism over description. Don't just describe the thing you're showing us or read the text on it. Only describe what is relevant to the points you're making about the packaging. Product packaging exists for 3 reasons. 1, because the thing has to come inside something, and often to protect the thing, so you can certainly talk about how well it does that job. But your focus should be more on the other 2 reasons. Second is to entice you to purchase the item, so discuss marketability. Is it pleasing to the eye? Does it make you want to pick the thing up? And why? And third, to provide information. Does the packaging tell you what you would want to know about the product before you buy it, and does it do so effectively? So discuss communication. How well does the packaging communicate information to the consumer? The time limit for this challenge will be 3 minutes, so be sure to have a game plan before you begin shooting. The deadline will be next Wednesday, November 14th. Please submit your entry as a video response to this video, and be sure to include WRTR somewhere in the title of the video. If you have any questions or concerns, personal message Captain Logan at Geekvolution on our channel page. Good luck, and welcome to Who Reviews the Reviewers.